Well, good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. And I am so happy to have with me today a very special guest. He actually has been on the show before, a really good friend of the City of Miramar. And he is doing something for the 26th year now, honoring his dad, honoring the legacy of jazz and music here in South Florida. I have with me Melton Mustafa Jr., and he is going to be talking about the Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival. Well, how are you, my friend? Long time no see.
Hey there, how are you? How are you?
I am well. I am well. And you have been extremely busy, obviously keeping this festival together, as well as, teaching the baby. So we'll get to that in a minute too. But
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about the festival. I cannot believe it has been 26 years.
26 years. Yes.
And so this was a dream of your dad's, that he started this festival 26 years ago. What was the purpose in doing so? I know to make great music, but what else?
Well, first of all, my dad, he loved Miami. He toured all over the world playing with, some of the biggest names in the world, but he loved being in Miami. So, he always wanted to come off a tour because he toured all my life, as a kid. But he always wanted to make sure that he brought everything that he was doing around the world to Miami, to South Florida. So, he had this idea while he was working at Florida Memorial University. By the way, he started the jazz studies program at Florida Memorial University, but he had this idea to start a jazz festival down here, and the main purpose was to bring the very best of jazz to South Florida. In addition to that, he wanted to make sure that the students at Florida Memorial had an opportunity to experience and to get some type of education or tutelage from those jazz artists also. So that's really how it started.
Wow. And so 26 years later, we are honoring his legacy and his memory by having the festival. And you guys have had some truly great names on the bill. Even if you don't know them, they have been some of the true jazz pioneers and people who can really play music.
Right. One thing that my dad wanted to do was to have an honestly uh true jazz festival with jazz musicians, and nothing against any other jazz festivals because there are so many great artists in this world, but he wanted to make sure that he had what we would always call a pure jazz festival, and these are musicians who are down in the trenches playing bebop, jazz, blues, I mean
Mhm.
the good stuff.
Right. And so the festival is going on now. Tell us where and how people can get tickets because, truly it's, there have been years that it's completely sold out. And we want people to be able to get those tickets before it sells out.
Right. So definitely. So the location this year is the historic Black Archives Theater in Overtown, and this year we're having a opening ceremony at the Duns Josephine Hotel. If you don't know anything about that, it's a historic hotel in Overtown, and oh man, it's so beautiful. They have a jazz music theme, and they'll be hosting the pre-mixer on Thursday night, February the 23rd, and it starts at 6 o'clock, the Duns Josephine Hotel. Now, everything else is going to be at the Black Archives Historic Lyric Theater, which is in Overtown also. So that's on Friday night. We're doing an open air concert. You can bring your lounge chairs out and just sit back and hear some awesome jazz. On Saturday, we're having workshops for students or anyone who wants to come in and have discussions or master classes or participate in workshops with the artists that are on the festival. That's going to be on Saturday. And also some performances from the local middle school, high school, and collegiate level bands. That's one thing that my dad, Melton Mustafa Sr., always wanted to do, is to make sure he included the kids and give them an opportunity to shine, because as you know, we have some dynamite, artists that are kids,
Right.
and South Florida has raised so many like incredible artists, and some of them will be there giving jazz workshops and master classes. And on Sunday is our culminating event, and that's what we call our big concert. It's going to be inside the Lyric Theater's their main theater, and it will be featuring the big band and a host of other really, really dynamic musicians. Now, you said you wanted to know where you can get tickets from. Eventbrite. So if you go to Eventbrite, Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival, you'll be able to buy all the tickets you like.
And it's amazing too, because I've been before. It's a great event, great date night for people. Also a great awakening and opening for kids, as you mentioned, to just introduce them to the world of jazz and the world of live musicians, really, regardless of what they're playing, that they are playing instruments, that they are singing, that they are keeping a tradition alive. If you're just tuning in, we are speaking with Melton Mustafa Jr. He is heading the 26th annual Melton Mustafa Senior Jazz Festival in his honor of his dad, who started it 26 years ago, and who, like you said, traveled the world with so many greats. Was it just going to be known that you were going to go into the music biz and to play an instrument? Was that just, it had to happen for you? There was no other thing that you could do?
Really quickly, let me tell you this. So my mom was very strict. Okay, very strict. She didn't play. Let me just say that. So when I was going to ninth grade, I was going to Miami Carol City Senior High School. I signed up for my classes like all the other kids, and I wanted to get into football and sports and things like that. And she said, "Nah, you're gonna get a band. You're gonna sign up for band." And I didn't want to. I just wanted to play sports, like all the other kids. But anyway, I cried. But mom is mom. You have to do what she says. So I got a beginning band, and then after a month of playing with my teacher was Mr. Frankie Neal, I was one of the better people in that class. The next year, I was one of the better people in the school, and by the next year, I was auditioning for scholarships. I went to Florida A&M University on a full music scholarship, and that's what happened. So I was upset with my mom, but at the same time, she's mom, so I was in it, so I had to do my best. So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I come from a musical family. My dad and my uncle Jesse Jones Jr. Are both world renowned musicians. They played all over, and they have really set the bar in South Florida as far as jazz is concerned. And Jesse Jones is going to be featured at the Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival along with my brother Yamin Mustafa. But I do need to say this: those are the only two males that are performing, because this year we're celebrating the ladies. This year we're
Nice.
celebrating International Ladies of Jazz. So if you look at the bill, you're going to see. I'm going to read some of these because it's so many. It's Andea Owens, Sherazette Tenen, Tasia Ville, who's actually from South Florida. She graduated from Miami Northwestern Payback program. Dynamite bass player. She's played with Beyonce. She's played with everybody. Mario Blightstein, Nikki Kidd, who's also from South Florida. She graduated from University of Miami. Yarelis Gandol, Kiana Linnell, Nicole Yarlin, our very own Nicole Yarlin, Naila Mustafa. That's my daughter. She's going to be there.
Wow.
Jasmine Gant is coming down. And also we have some dynamic spoken word artists, Rebecca Butterfly Vaughn, Mimi Round the Way. That's the daughter of the great Ingrid Bazin, and Sherry Vaughn. And we have some local bands that are going to be featured. New World School of the Arts under the direction of Jim Gazier, and Broward College under the direction of Waldron Dunkley. And he's going to be featuring a vocalist, Yamila Alaya. She's going to be, Ayla, I'm sorry, going to be performing. And it is going to be awesome.
I'm
We're
telling you,
celebrating the ladies.
yeah, you guys have a full weekend of activities starting on that Thursday, February 23rd, with the big event to kick it off. And then, of course, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday is the big concert at the Lyric Theater. But everybody can find out the information and to get those tickets on Eventbrite, Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival. I would love to talk to you about, now you are pouring in, you are giving back. How is it teaching young ones, and how young do you teach? Is it ever too early or too late to get started teaching a child an instrument or to practice their voice or whatever it is that their gift is?
No, it's never too early. You know, everyone loves music. From a child to a teenager to an adult to someone's grandparents, we all love music, and it's something that everybody enjoy. And one thing that I enjoy is giving back to the community, and the way I do that is through education. As you know, I've taught many years in Miami-Dade County Public Schools or Broward County Public Schools, Parkway School of the Arts. I've worked with almost every school, just in Dade County or Broward County. And it's something that I truly enjoy. In fact, I've been nominated 3 times. This is my third Grammy nomination as far as a Grammy music educator.
Nice.
And I haven't won it yet, but I'm working on it. But having the opportunity to work with kids is it's one of the biggest joys that I have, just to give back and to see that smile on a kid's face, or even an adult that are learning something new. It's just really, it really does something for my heart. And I really enjoy that. And hopefully I can continue to do that.
Don't worry, that Grammy's coming. The music cares, music teachers, don't you worry, it's coming.
Right.
So again, if people would like to buy tickets and this, like I said, date night, also to bring kids, bring your church groups, bring senior citizens, anybody that you would like to enjoy this music, families. It's definitely going to be an eye opener for some people because they don't really even know about the origins of jazz or where it comes from.
Yes, we like to invite everybody in the community. It doesn't matter where you're from, where you're going, or where you're at. Come on, see some jazz at the Historic Lyric Theater. You can get tickets on Eventbrite if you would type in www.mmjf26. That's mmjf26. .eventbrite.com, and you can get all of the tickets you like, and make sure you say hey.
Absolutely. Or just put in Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival. It will definitely pop up.
Right.
Again, the dates are February 23rd through February 26th, the end of the month. It's beautiful here in South Florida. And that's the other thing too, Melton, is that you guys actually have people traveling in from around the world to come here. The weather's great and it's outdoors and it's jazz.
Right.
I mean, how can you go wrong, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, it is going to be a great event. Again, the 26th annual Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival in honor of Melton Mustafa Jr.'s father, Melton Mustafa Sr. It is going to be amazing. Your uncle Jesse Jones is going to be performing. It should be a great show, like it always is, the 26th annual. So we got to keep it going. Again, get those tickets on eventbrite.com, and it should be a great event. February 23rd through the 26th, downtown Miami, Overtown area at the Lyric
Yes.
Theater. It's going to be awesome.
Right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you guys.
Yeah, I love you too. And your friends in Miramar, definitely wish you well. We know maybe it's right here in Miramar. Maybe it could be in Miramar next year. You never know.
I have an
You never,
idea.
you
I
never
have an idea.
know. Thank you so very much, Melton Mustafa Jr. We certainly appreciate you being with us, and good luck with everything the weekend of February 23rd through the 26th for the Melton Mustafa Jazz Festival in honor and memory of your dad. It is going to be an amazing event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Good Morning Miramar. Until next time, see you. Good morning, Miramar, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Tamara G. Don't forget, you can check us out on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at City of Miramar. And we have with us today on the show our very good friend, Thor Barraclaw. He is the Chief Programs Officer for Habitat for Humanity of Broward. They've done some great things in the city of Miramar, and now they are doing even greater things throughout Broward County, because as we know, housing is something that everyone needs. So welcome back to the show, Thor.
Thanks so much, Tamara. It's really a pleasure to be here with you.
No problem. So, okay, you guys came into Miramar, you were helping people get into affordable housing, and now you actually are expanding out, and the time to apply is now, right?
That's exactly right. And we learned a lot from our experience in Miramar, and the relationship with the city was so spectacular that we really understood that the duplex model, the townhouse model, is the way to go in a land crunched Broward. And so now we're opening up our applications for our next home ownership program. We open up tomorrow on the 15th of February, and we run all the way till the 31st of March. And that allows folks to apply for beautiful townhomes, brand new 3 and 4 bedroom townhomes in both Coral Springs and in Fort Lauderdale, Eastern 95.
Wow. And as I mentioned in the intro, Thor, I can't say enough about how important it is for housing right now in South Florida. Tell us what is happening and why Habitat for Humanity is doing this.
Well, you're absolutely right. Broward County and really South Florida is at the epicenter of the affordable housing crisis, and the reason is it's pretty simple, really. We're sandwiched between the ocean and the Everglades. We have limited land. We have an urbanizing community, and amongst that, we typically at a national level don't pay our workers in this community a rate that we would have at a national level. And then we also have very, very high real estate prices. So the result is we have an affordability crisis with home ownership. And that's what Habitat's all about. It's about making home ownership affordable for working families in our community. Because if we don't all have a place to live, a safe place to live, and a vested interest in this community, how can we be a vital community of tomorrow?
Right. And with the Habitat houses, they are just like any other house that is built. I think I don't know what people think, but it is truly, just like any other 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. It has the best materials. The really cool thing, though, is that people who do qualify for a Habitat home have to put in a little sweat equity, right?
You're absolutely right. So sweat equity is a key part of why we make these beautiful homes that you spoke of affordable, is because we have our homeowners in partnership with all the Habitat volunteers and staff. We work to build those houses together. And as a result, not only do we create really beautiful homes that are affordable, we also build community. We work side by side. We get to know our neighbors. We get to know our neighbors' kids, and we build an inclusive community. And you're right, these townhomes are designed by GL Homes, which makes $1 million homes. And we said to them, how do we make $1 million home, but not at $1 million price? And they came up with these beautiful designs for us.
Yeah. And as someone who has been a Habitat volunteer, it was very exciting to get up one Saturday morning. It was me and a group of my Link sisters from North Broward County chapter of the Links Incorporated, and we actually helped to build a house. Now we weren't putting in any toilets or anything like that. We were just, hammering in things that were very simple that anybody could do. And we were working with the young lady whose house it was. She was in there with us.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like swinging a hammer next to the homeowner who's going to live in that home. And you're right, we have expert volunteer coordinators and leaders who can lead all our volunteers through the process. No one needs to come with experience, and it's a great thing to do, to come out and experience it. You can apply online, you can volunteer online at habitatbroward.org, and we'd love for everyone to be involved. We want to serve people through home ownership, but also serve our community together.
And so, Thor, tell us a little bit about what the qualifications are for people who would love to qualify and to fill out this application for Habitat for Broward.
Sure. Well, really, Habitat is looking for working families that live or work in Broward. So they have to either live or work in Broward. They have to be willing to commit to the partnership with Habitat Broward, which is 12 months of education with us while their home is built and while they help us build others' homes. And then the last thing is they have to be able to afford a 0% mortgage. And so those three requirements are the things that we look for, and we do a full application process, and we go through it to make sure that everyone has all the information and all the credentials that they need. And once that happens and they get through that full approval process, we do a home visit and we make a decision about whether it's a right fit for them.
Sounds good. And if you're just tuning in, we're speaking with Thor Barraclaw. He is the Chief Programs Officer for Habitat for Humanity of Broward. The window is opening right now for you to fill out the application at habitatbroward.org. You have until March 31st, but don't wait. And if people don't think that they can qualify, right now rent is so ridiculous here, Thor. I mean, there are people paying $1,800 for a 1 or 2 bedroom, $2,000. So they could possibly afford to pay for a Habitat home. I mean, it's not that much difference.
You're absolutely right. In fact, I'll tell you that a Habitat home mortgage payment is going to be less than that. And so often we see folks actually save money, and that mortgage payment, instead of being rent that goes out the window, you begin to build equity, you begin to build wealth for the family for generations to come, and you're actually paying less than the rental rates that we have in here. And that's why this is a first-time homeowners program that we create to make sure that we can allow people. And remember, 96% of us in this county now cannot afford to own our own home. And so this program allows all those people, just like all of us across the county, to be able to afford a home, to get that first step into a home and start creating wealth.
Right. And the really cool thing too is when you own your own home, you care more about your neighborhood, you look out for what's happening. I don't know why that is, but it just seems like when it's yours, you like, hey, I want to keep this. This is my $300,000 investment.
Right. I think you're absolutely right. And I think you get to know your neighbors. You get to know your neighbors' kids. It does sort of make that community transference. I'll tell you that Habitat homeowners often, know each other's lawn or look after each other's kids. And they've spent 12 months getting to know each other, working side by side. We do youth programs for their kids. And so you come into your new neighborhood, not as strangers, but as neighbors. And I think that's a really important part of being engaged in your community is having a network around you.
Right. Well, it definitely has worked in Miramar, the Habitat homes that are in Miramar, and now you are branching out into Coral Springs in Fort Lauderdale. Tell us one more time, Thor, how people can fill out that application. First, you must be a first-time home buyer though, right?
Correct. You have to be a first-time homeowner. You have to live or work in Broward. You have to be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident. And those other income qualifications that we put out that follow HUD guidelines. But you're absolutely right. We really hope that no one self-deselects. Go online, go to habitatbroward.org, fill out the pre-application. It's very simple. You can do it in a couple of minutes. You'll get some answers and know your next steps for that program.
Sounds good. All right. So definitely, again, fill out the application. As my mother would always say, nothing beats a failure but a try. So just try it. You never know. Fill it out at habitatbroward.org. Thank you so much, Thor Barraclaw, the Chief Programs Officer for Habitat for Humanity of Broward. And again, habitatbroward.org is the place to fill out the application, which is open right now until March 31st. You guys better go ahead and fill it out because it is going to be, somebody's going to get a house. Several people are going to get houses. So
we have more than 30 houses for this time around.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So let it be you, okay? Habitatbroward.org is the website. Fill out the application. And again, thank you so much, Thor, for being with us today. And we hope that you get all 30 applicants right away.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. We really appreciate it.
Sounds good. And thank you for watching Good Morning Miramar. Until next time, I'm your host, Tamara G. See ya.